Okay, welcome to our geography session. So last week we learned about the makeup of the Earth. Today we're going to be learning about volcanoes. So we are going to be learning to explain how volcanoes are formed. So first of all, before we begin the rest of the lesson, I want you to remember what is under your feet. I want you to pause the video here and see if you can write down all of the different parts of our Earth. Okay, let's see if we remembered all the different parts. So we've got the crust on the outside, which is where we stand, the crust on the outside. We have the mantle that's underneath that, the outer core and the inner core. Okay, so this is Eyjafjallajökull. Took a very long time for me to work out how to say that, and it's a volcano in Iceland. Okay, and in the year 2010, this volcano erupted. It caused lots and lots of issues for people who are flying and travelling and having their Easter holiday break. So if you stop the video here, come out of it and have a watch of that video of that volcano erupting and then come back. Okay, so let's think about perhaps how volcanoes happen. So the Earth's crust, which is where we stand and where the ground is, etc., is not one solid layer. So it's broken up into huge areas that we are called tectonic plates, and they float on top of the mantle that's underneath them, almost like if you had a slice of bread like floating on water. So when you feed the ducks, the bread floats on the water, obviously, before they eat them. Okay, so the Earth's crust is not one solid layer. We have lots and lots of different plates that float on top of the mantle, and we've got lots of different names for them. So the plate that we, or the UK, is sat upon, and we're quite in the middle actually, is the Eurasian plate. Okay, and the Eurasian plate actually covers most of Europe. Okay, and that's one of the biggest plates. Okay, now we're just going to have a think. If you've got two pieces of paper here, you could have a go at this activity. If you don't, we're just going to have a think. Now, if you had two pieces of paper and you laid them flat on the table, how many different ways could you move the pieces around that table whilst they remained flat? Okay, you could either rub them together, so they're side by side rubbing together. They may move towards each other, or they may move away from each other. Okay, a little bit like magnets, towards each other or away from each other. Okay, so rubbing together, moving towards each other, and moving away from each other. So we've got to think about actually what do these tectonic plates have to do with volcanoes. So what you're going to do is, again, you're going to pause the video, you're going to come out of it, and I want you to watch the footage of the valley. So there's a valley footage video I want you to watch. Just have a watch of that and then come back. Okay, so this valley that you've been watching is over 9,000 years old. Okay, and every year it's getting 7 millimetres wider. Does not sound like a lot, really. Less than a centimetre. Okay, but think about it. They're over 9,000 years old and they're moving 7 millimetres every single year. That actually creates, over time, quite a big gap. And the rocky valley floor was cooled by cool lava. Okay, the valley is surrounded by volcanoes that are formed as the plates move apart. So let's think about how volcanoes are made then. So what happens is pressure builds up inside the Earth, okay, in the mantle. It's building and building and building and building. And then this affects the Earth's crust. So magma sometimes will erupt through it, okay. And what happens is, think about those pieces of paper that we moved across the table. What happens is the plates move towards each other because the pressure is pushing them up. And as they move towards each other, they almost get to a point where they're overlapping and they push each other up. Okay, and as they're pushing each other up, they're causing a slight gap. So then the lava and ash erupts through this crust and builds up this volcano cone shape over time, because as the lava and ash erupts, they erupt out, and as they hit the air, they begin to cool. Okay, so underneath the Earth's crust, it's still very liquid, and as it comes out, it begins to turn more solid. Okay, and as it cools down, it creates more layers and layers and layers and layers of rock. Okay, so this process is happening all the time. Okay, so we have the eruption cloud, which is all the ash and the black smoke that comes out after a volcano has erupted. Think about the video you watched. The crater is where it comes from. The conduit, or the main vent, which is where the majority of the lava is coming from. And the magma chamber, okay, which is where it starts. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to have a go at an activity. We're going to be learning more about volcanoes within our topic. You're going to choose one of the activity sheets. So you've got a 1-star, 2-star and 3-star activity sheet. And you are going to explain how a volcano is created and grows and what the main parts are called. Don't turn the video off yet, because you've got one more choice or one more activity that you could do as well as this for your extra challenge if you are able to. Okay? So, extra challenge, making your own volcano. So I want you to, if you can, watch what happens when vinegar is added to the liquid in the cup. So there is a document that will show you how to create your own volcano, and that's your extra challenge. Okay? Most of all, have lots and lots of fun, and I look forward to seeing all of the lovely work that you've been doing.